Greetings, we will be ranking pillow chase monsters from easiest to hardest based on how hard they are to be against with. This is based on my experience with the game, so feel free to express your thoughts on each of these monsters based on your previous experiences. So let's start with Vapor, the first monster in the game. Vapor recently got a rework and now has 3 abilities in his kit. With his spider skulls and scorching grip, it puts a lot of pressure into surviving Vapor, as well as trying to complete the objectives. Vapor also has demonic shift, which he can teleport anywhere he'd like. He's a bit slower than a survivor, so this teleportation's pretty useful. For me, it's pretty easy to go against Vapor, so I'll put Vapor in the easy tier. Next is Rosemary. Rosemary's only problem is her stamina, low stamina regen, and she is pretty loud, not being able to sneak up to survivors. Her shrieking gives her stamina, but not much, and she has to rely on her essence in chases. Not to mention her shriek only does 5 damage. She's more so just for speed, rather than an ambush, so I'll put her in the effortless tier. Next, we have Baldi. Baldi starts slow, but gets faster over time as he kills more survivors. In the late game, Baldi pretty much becomes unbeatable if the user knows what they're doing. Baldi can mute his ruler slaps, place notebooks as traps, and has infinite stamina. Baldi was also made free, however, now disabled, and a lot more people were using him. I underestimated him way too much. Now that I see how powerful he is, so I will put Baldi in the hard tier. Next is Ao Oni. Ao Oni was also recently reworked, which I think is a bug. He can now slide when he's shapeshifted, and he can counter-cloak with his vision. That is, if he times the ability right. And the fact he can hit twice now is quite a unique M1, that and also Valem's M1. The only thing holding him back is his speed and stamina, but with his 2 abilities, they can counter that disadvantage. Fortunately or unfortunately, Ao Oni is still a stealthy and speedy monster as of right now. Ao Oni goes in medium tier. Next is the Fogborn. Fogborn's weakness is his stamina drain, and he's pretty reliant on his abilities. He's quite hard to keep track on, because he has foggy stare, so it's pretty much down to your hearing to detect his distance. The only thing I can do about Fogborn is to not look at him, and also manage my stamina. I'll put the Fogborn in medium tier. Next is EXE. EXE is difficult to face, as he has traps and speed boosts. A map like Hide and Seek can increase difficulty, as well as EXE has many opportunities to place his traps. EXE is not that much slower than a survivor either. He goes into hard tier because of his traps. Next is Uncle Samsonite. Uncle Samsonite's kit is questionable. His abilities are only useful when they corner their survivors. The problem is that he is too slow, in the medium tier, have any counter abilities, and is easy to outrun. Uncle Samsonite is in desperate need of a buff. His nerf was unnecessary. For now, I'll have to put Uncle Samsonite in easy tier. Here's where things get interesting. Springtrap's up next. Ventilation error is my main problem with his chases. Having to be blinded back and forth is confusing, even when I won't know where I'm going. Phantom Walk and Axe Toss can say the same thing, difficult, but still manageable. He's not really that difficult, but still a hard foe to go against. Springtrap will be top of hard tier. Here we have a familiar face. It is MX. MX is somewhat fast, given that he's massive. He also hits really hard, nearly bone-breaking, a survivor. My main problem during the chase is my stamina and timing the jump. MX is nearly impossible to go up against, and many people have him on Diamond or Gold. MX is our first difficult monster in the list. Then here is the Forest King. The Forest King is pretty strong, with abilities that trap people and find them for the user. He's a bit easier than MX because of base speed. The Forest King was intended to move differently, but that was then reverted to his normal movement. That helped out a bit with chases recently, but he's still not that easy as he was before. So TFK will go in medium tier. Niloticus. Niloticus is the reptile of nightmare, being fast, and does constant damage. Being irradiated makes you weaker to Noloticus's attacks, making it harder to deal with when he's fast. He can also trap survivors with his mist, and also irradiate dead survivors. He's going in the difficult tier. Next is Whist, my first main. Whist is somewhat easy to outrun, but also unpredictable. His gobbled bombs are easy to dodge, however, only if I would be able to hear the sound cue. It's when he's in frenzy mode that he's aggressive. But still, somewhat easy to outrun if it worked for stamina. As long as I'm keeping a safe distance, I'm safe either way. I guess he'll go in easy tier. Next is the Mimic, Vita Mimic. He's basically almost the same speed as a survivor, with the same stamina. Since he goes for more lone survivors, I usually just stick with small groups. Vita Mimic is quite confusing, so I'm not sure what else to say. I guess medium tier. Next is Fuadi, the first monster I bought. Fuadi is quite fast and has decent stamina, and his abilities are overpowered for a monster like him. He's also the cheapest monster you can buy right now. Once he hits someone with Silly Rush, it's basically a free kill and XP. I have a lot of trouble encountering him in indoor maps, especially in long hallways when I don't have parry stacks. But since there are many outdoor maps where I can easily dodge his attacks, he goes in easy tier. Time for Inkfell, my personal favorite. Inkfell is a monster not many people look at. He's undoubtedly one of the more overpowered monsters with Devil's Rage. And since he can place many portals around the map, I'm basically gonna have to go through them all while praying for Inkfell to not burst out of the portal. He's easy to outrun, but it's when he deals damage to me, or I get the debuff from these portals, die, or explosion that I often get killed. He goes straight into difficult tier. Now it's everyone's favorite, PCX. As we all know, PCX has gone through so many reworks, to the point that so many tier list videos became outdated. But we do know that a good PCX is a guarantee, server-wide. So in my point of view, it actually depends on who is using him. Still, I'm kinda glad PCX was temporarily disabled, now that lobbies aren't filled with high-ranked dwarfs. But that doesn't change the fact that he goes in the difficult tier. Next is Jeffrey Woods. Jeffrey Woods is stealthy and speedy together, being the same speed as a survivor, and having an ability to be silent and do more damage than his normal M1. He can also gain speed boost from his rage, meter and maniacal haste, which can stack. I can still somewhat outrun him, as he has less stamina than a survivor. So maybe I'll put Jeffrey Woods in medium tier. Next is another original character, and that is Vellum. Vellum has low stamina and decent speed, but has the longest range for a hitbox. I can certainly outrun him, but I can't dodge his attacks as easy as said than done. And with his illusions, I get quite confused and pray that Vellum doesn't warp to it and aim for me. Vellum is another confusing monster, but I do know that I just need to manage stamina in order to outrun him and be aware of his attacks. Vellum will go in easy tier. Our last monster is the Stricken. Stricken is a slow monster with tons of stamina, but he can also place custards, which will make him get faster for a period of time. Stricken also has another form which is more tanky and deals a lot more damage than his normal form. He's quite easy to outrun, only if it worked for his custards that he can place everywhere in the map. Our last monster will go in high tier.